My name is Chang, and I want to speak to you plainly because what I am about to tell you, I have never said it this clearly before. I am not here to entertain you or to decorate this with unnecessary words. This is not just a story. This is how we actually react when your prayers begin to destroy us. I have watched it happen step by step, and I have been part of it. When I look back now, I see it with a kind of calm understanding, the way someone might explain a process they have studied for a long time. There was a woman, she lived in Bada Lagos, not a pastor, not popular, not rich, just an ordinary person by every visible standard. But every midnight she prayed like someone who understood something others didn't. And that difference, though quiet at first, began to stand out in a way that we could not ignore. One night, everything we had carefully built around her life started collapsing, not all at once, but in a way that made it clear something was changing direction. And before I go deeper, I want you to consider something for yourself. Because if you have ever prayed and felt like something was pushing back, then what I am saying will make sense to you in a way it might not to others. Many people are experiencing this today, but they don't understand it. And when you don't understand something, you often misread it. I was not an ordinary witch. I belonged to a group, and we were assigned to one thing very specifically. We monitored people whose prayers were becoming dangerous. Not everyone, not randomly, not without reason. We focused on those whose prayers were consistent, aggressive, and spiritually backed, because those are the ones that disturb systems that are otherwise stable. And that woman became our assignment. The first night she prayed intensely, we felt it. Not physically, not in a way you can describe with ordinary language, but spiritually, like pressure, like something pushing steadily against us. It was not loud, but it was firm, and that was enough. That was when we knew this one is becoming a problem. And immediately we began to react, because that is what we do when something threatens our position. The first thing we do is enter your dreams. That same night we entered her dream. We changed it, shaped it, turned it dark, made her see dead bodies, strange figures, shadows chasing her. The goal is simple, very practical in our thinking. Make you afraid to continue praying. Fear, if you look at it closely, is one of the most reliable entry points we have. But something happened that I did not expect, and I say that carefully. Instead of running, instead of waking up in panic and carrying that fear into the next day, she started praying inside the dream itself. And suddenly, without warning, we were pushed out violently. It was not gradual, it was not negotiable. We were simply removed. That was when I realized that some people are dangerous even in their sleep, and that realization stayed with me. When that approach didn't work, we moved to the next reaction. We try to intimidate you. When dreams fail, we escalate, not recklessly, but deliberately. We began manifesting around her physically, small things at first, knocking sounds at night, movements in her room, shadows in corners. These things are not random, they are calculated to build tension, to make a person question their safety. their control, their environment. One night, she woke up suddenly, looked around, and instead of panicking, instead of reacting the way most people do, she said something very simple: I am not afraid. That statement, plain as it sounds, weakened our operation. Fear is our biggest access point, and when it is not there, the door does not open the way we expect. So we adjusted again, because that is the pattern. Reaction 3: we create overwhelming distractions. When intimidation fails, we don't always push harder in the same direction. Sometimes we change strategy completely. We don't attack directly, we distract you. Suddenly, her life became chaotic. Work pressure increased. Family issues started. Unexpected problems came from nowhere. All of it designed for one purpose: to make her too tired to pray, not to destroy her immediately, but to wear her down slowly, because exhaustion can succeed where fear fails. And for a moment, it almost worked. One night she was exhausted. She lay on the bed and said, I will pray tomorrow. That sentence, small as it sounds, created space, and that night we gained slight access again. That was when I understood something clearly. Missing prayer gives us space. It does not always look significant at the time, but it creates an opening. Then we move to reaction. 4. We use people close to you. When we cannot reach you directly, we go through people. We targeted her friend, planted offense, misunderstanding, emotional pain. They had a serious fight, and for a moment, her spirit dropped just enough for us to notice. That is when we moved again, because we watched those moments carefully. But again, she did something we did not expect. She forgave quickly, without holding on, without stretching it out, and immediately everything we had set in motion collapsed again. Forgiveness destroyed access. It closed a door we were relying on. At this stage, we became more deliberate, more focused. Reaction 5: we look for sign or weakness. When prayer is consistent, we cannot operate unless we find a legal ground. So we began searching carefully. Is there hidden sin? Is there bitterness? Is there compromise? These are the things we look for, not casually, but thoroughly. But we found nothing strong enough to hold on to. That was when the leader said something I will never forget. Said it calmly, almost like a conclusion after careful review. If she continues like this, we will lose her completely. And then came reaction 6. We withdraw and mark you. When everything fails, we withdraw. Yes, we leave, but not in peace. We mark you. That means we monitor from a distance. We wait for a future opportunity. We hope you become careless, because the truth is, we do not defeat strong prayer warriors easily. We wait for them to weaken. One night we were observing her again. She was praying, steady as before, and then she said something that stayed with me in a way I cannot easily explain. She said, Lord, save anyone fighting me. She was praying for us, for me. No one had ever done that. And that night, something shifted inside me. I could not continue the same way. I felt weak, disconnected, lost in a way that was unfamiliar. Days later, I went to her house, knocked on her door. She opened, looked at me, and said, "You are free now." And I broke down immediately because she already knew. If you are listening to me right now, I want you to understand this clearly, without confusion. When your prayers begin to work, you will notice signs: strange dreams, intimidation, distractions, sudden problems, relationship attacks. These are not coincidences, these are reactions. I was there, I participated, I saw how it works, and I can tell you the truth in the simplest way I know how. Your consistency in prayer is what defeats darkness. Not one day, not emotion, not occasional effort. Consistency. And many people are under attack today, not because they are doing something wrong, but because they are doing something wrong, right? And they do not yet understand what they are seeing.